Before I start the journey towards integrated finance, I would like to explain a little bit about the context of the organization and the value chain, because each company and each value chain requires a different approach in terms of integration. BRF is one of the biggest food companies in the world. So we produce and sell about 4 million tons per year. So if you guys here from Middle East think it's the same consumption as Turkey and Saudi together in 1 year, right? So it's a lot of food that we produce and sell. Specifically in Middle East, we have two strong brands. We have Banvit in Turkey. We have Sadia here in GCC, plus 50 years into the market. But now, when I go to the next slide explaining the value chain, things get even more complicated, and then you will understand why it's important, even more important, to talk about integrated finance. When we move to the next slide, we can see how complex is the value chain of BRF, which requires a truly strong collaboration, right? So by the end of this slide, hopefully you are going to be willing to pay more for the chicken that you consume after you understand how complex it is, right? So everything starts with the grains, right? So we need to purchase the grains, the corn, the soybean meals. We need to process them into feed. We need to have the grandparents that will produce the breeders, that will produce the broilers, that we are going to slaughter, and that we are going to deliver into different markets. And all of these happens in different countries. We have a platform in Turkey, we have a platform in Saudi, we have a platform in the UAE, we have a platform in different countries around the world, right? So in order to create value, we need to maximize the value chain. And in order to maximize the value chain, we need a strong collaboration among many different areas. So we have the commercial team that will put the demand, that will share the demand. Then we have the S&OP team in between, trying to match the demand with the availability in terms of production. Then we have the production team that will need to produce what has been requested and demand. Then we have us, finance, trying to put all of this together to see how our financials will look like and to see if it's aligned with the strategy. As we can see here, so a complex value chain requires a strong collaboration. That's why you're going to see in my next slide a short journey how we have been performing since 2018 and 19, when we decided it was time for us to improve the way that we were collaborating internally. When we see the next slide, 2018-19, we used to have a very traditional planning process, using Excel, using email, using face-to-face communication. For example, so the commercial team, the planning team, they would demand using Excel, then the S&OP team would consolidate the demand, then we'll discuss with the production team, availability would be shared again by email, we put everyone together in one place around the world to discuss the next quarter. So then we decide to bring a new tool to facilitate this kind of collaboration, avoiding such exchange of emails, Excels, etc. Then we implemented in 2018-19 an integrated business planning tool in order to facilitate the collaboration from the beginning, from the demand, availability, discussions with marketing, discussions with the commercial team, us from finance in one single platform, right? But also this platform can help us bringing automated inputs and alerts. Okay, prices are moving from 1 week to another week. So what are we going to do about? Volumes are dropping. We don't have this availability. Stocks are increasing. So when we have a tool that will help us to manage the full value chain, again, a lot of value can be generated. But if you have a Ferrari, you need to learn how to drive the Ferrari. Otherwise, you'll not be able to maximize all the potential that tool can deliver to you. That's why specifically in Middle East, we started a journey in 2020 of business partnering. So we put in place a strong collaboration between the planning at a regional level and finance in order to maximize the value for the company. So also we are able to put in place a more frequent planning process. So instead of running only on a quarterly basis, we have weekly updates using the IBP tool, using other simulation tools that we prepared in-house. So first, start with the business partner mindset. Okay, how can I add value to the business? How can I collaborate with an S&OP, the commercial team? Then in 2021, we keep progressing the maturity of the IBP plus the business partner. Let's move not only from finance as a business partner mindset, but also to the non-finance people, right? So then we start going much more to the markets. We improve the way that we communicate the messages for the non-finance team. We explain to them, to the non-finance, what finance means when we are saying a few things. So this kind of close collaboration help us to leverage the tools that we have internally. And also, we put in place a very strong agenda and focus on the data visualization journey. Because as we know from finance, we love Excel, reporting, tables, etc. But it's very hard for our stakeholders to understand. So if we're able to put in a way that they will understand easier what we are trying to explain, and with a clear message, we can generate much more impact. But then I got a chance, end of 2021, to redesign the finance structure, not only for the Middle East, but for the full international markets, taking over as the CFO for the international markets. This allow me create a new area called integrated finance. And integrated finance is an evolution of FP&A, however, with the business partner mindset, also with a strong digital finance transformation agenda, right? Now, as Lucas mentioned before, we don't want only look to what's going on in the week, the month, the quarter, but how can we prepare and bring software, simulations, tools that will facilitate in terms of the forecast, right? Now we have the data, we can build the data visualization tools, we have the mindset of business partner, we need to move ahead, bringing more insights about the future. And this is the role of the integrated finance in 2022 as we keep progressing in our journey. And if we can see in the next slide, what are the main goals of integrated finance? First, less transactional work. So no one wants to spend time with such amount of transactional work. Technology is here, automation is here, so we need to bring more automation. First, we need to stop talking about the past and talk more about the future. What will happen? What the drivers will be and how this will change our forecast. So we need a much more agile tools in order to prepare the simulations and replanning. So we need to improve the forecast accuracy. Lucas was mentioning about the geopolitical situation in the region. So in our industry specifically, every day is a new day. We have news every day. We need to be very agile. We need to create tools that will facilitate this scenario planning. Then we need to keep advancing with the business partner mindset to support decision making, right? So we finance only look at the past, truly we don't add any value, right? We start adding value when we bring the insights for the future to make decisions that will add value to the business. And then this links with the next, that is the finance digital transformation, especially using data visualization and analytic tools in order to help us to be better business partner. And finally, this area is also responsible for the finance excellence and the people development. On the finance excellence front, so the idea is continuous improvement. How can we improve the process? How can we standardize? How can we share best practice across the international markets? And people development, and keep focus on the people agenda. How can we make our people, upscaling them, make them better every day from a business partner and from a technology perspective? So in a way, I'm very happy that we are discussing integrated finance. So integrated finance is the way forward, because only working together with other areas with a business partner mindset, leveraged by technology, we are going to be able to create true value for the organizations as finance function.